I can teach you, buddy.
Bring the classic arcade experience home with Arcade1Up. Cabinets and risers each sold separately.
I'm sure many of us may have known Arcade1Up since its introduction around 2018-2019, and some of us may even have it in our house, myself included. Well, it's been quite some time since I last uploaded a video, and it's been quite some time now since I last did any review videos. Now, this is not a remaster review from like many years ago from my older videos. This one's a remaster from a review that I did back in 2023. And it's this one, introducing the Arcade1Up Countercade, which is, of course, the Super Pac-Man arcade cabinet. Of course, released in 2021 by Bandai Namco Interactive, as it contains 4 arcade classics: Super Pac-Man, Pac-Man, Dig Dug, and Rally X. Alright, let me put this down. Alright, so let's go into a backstory for everyone who has grown up with my channel, and for the old veterans may know that I am a gamer, and I always love gaming, from modern hits to arcade classics, and some even classic console days like the PS1, 2, Genesis, NES, Super NES, etc. So during the holiday season of 2021, I actually wanted to get one of these Arcade1Ups to have in my house. The only issue is that in my apartment, it's a very small house. So we opted for the Countercade, which I got for Christmas of that year on December 29th, if I remember. And ever since then, I've been enjoying it. And when it comes to Pac-Man, I really love that yellow dude. Just watch him eat the pellets, but also gobbling up those ghosts to get the biggest bonus points that you will never see in your life. So before I turn this on, I figure, why don't we take a look at a 360-degree view. Now, if you do realize my camera might be a bit shaky, it's kind of hot in around in my room, so I might have some sweaty hands. So I do apologize in advance. So let's start from the front. You have yourself the Super Pac-Man logo. You got yourself the player 1, player 2 button, the A, which is for super speed, and the action button, and your arcade joystick to make it really feel like you're in the 80s. And over here you got yourself the spines. Up here that says Light Up Marquee. There we go, almost butchered that name. Now let's go all the way to the back. Oh, almost dropped the bag. I mean the box. So here it is. This is Arcade1Up, which includes the box. Shows you the game, and it shows you, of course, the 4 games that I mentioned a little earlier. Alright, so let me go back. And now, okay, let me just put this in. So for those who don't know what Arcade1Up is, I think it was a company that was founded around sometime during the 2010 decade with a mission to bring back that nostalgic feeling of playing classic video games from the 80s and 90s, mainly from the arcades. And they do a really great job at doing it. I especially get that feeling a lot, especially when playing a lot of those Namco Museum arcade compilation hits. I mean, not complicated. Compilation hits. I figure you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of butchering it at this point. But yeah, Arcade1Up really does a really great job when it comes to bringing back the sense of that arcade feeling. And I will also share my arcade experiences and video game experiences with you guys in this video. Okay, so let me just fix this up a little bit. All right, let's turn it on. Now, you're also going to hear my fan in the background as well, because like I said, it is a hot day outside, and I am sweating like bullets, so I got to keep myself cool and this phone so we don't run into any hiccups. All right, so right now, as you see, it's loading into the Arcade1Up screen. It has the copyright here of, I think that's the 2021. I'm not sure. I can't really see from that far here. All right, so let's shut the lights off, because I never got to did that in the original video back in 2023. Which, if you guys want to see that original video, just let me know. Okay, so we got Super Pac-Man, Pac-Man, Rally X, and Dig Dug. Making sure the volume's up at 15. So let's get started with Super Pac-Man. Of course, we all know that is a awesome video game. Released way back, oh, almost dropped the phone. Released way back in 1982. by, of course, Namco, part of the Pac-Man series. And it's one of those underrated Pac-Man games that not a lot of people really talk about nowadays, which is kind of sad. I really enjoyed Super Pac-Man and what it brought to the table, especially since, you know, at the time we were getting a lot of Pac-Man sequels, you know, like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man Plus, Super Pac-Man. Then there was also Pac-N-Pal, which was a Japanese exclusive game for the arcades that we never got in America until 2006, I believe, thanks to one of the plug-and-play consoles from Jack Pacific. What else am I missing? I know there was Miss Pac-Man I mentioned. There was Junior Pac-Man. Oh, and Pac-Land. There we go. I was trying to figure out what other Pac-Man games we had. Yeah, Pac-Land, which of course had an adapted cartoon from the folks at Hanna-Barbera Productions. Okay. Let me just get myself ready up here. Let me bring this up a little bit so you guys can see. Make sure it's not crooked. Okay. All right. Here's my hands. Making sure the lines are by 15. All right. Let's go. Woo! Just like being in the arcade game. I do apologize if you guys can't see the screen too much since my hands are in the way. So I'll try my best not to cover the screen too much so you guys can see the gameplay. That's why I'm not using the super speed, because that would require me to, like I said, cover the screen, and I wouldn't want to do that. So I think I might have to use my pinky hand, so you guys can see. If you want to know what stage I'm currently on, this is the first stage. There's my high score at the top, as you see here. I don't know how did I got a 95,650 score. I think I must have had a long endurance round of Super Pac-Man and was so locked into the zone. I think one day I should go back to doing Super Pac-Man, but try to do a 100k plus points challenge. If you don't know what that is, it means playing a long endurance of an arcade game and try to get 1,000 points or more. And I died at round 1. The most common easy mistake that I can do. But thankfully, there was the last apple that I can take. Double lead me, of course, into stage 2, which will gain me 20 points because now he's going to be eating bananas. And it's a good thing Donkey Kong is not there, or else he would have been pissed off at Pac-Man for eating all of his bananas. Yeah, speaking of Donkey Kong, I also played that arcade game before, courtesy of the MAME emulator. I never got to play the arcade cabinet. We'll love to do that one day. Okay, and there we go. So, we're now going to do the bonus stage here. So as you can see, there's the animated cutscene that we always hope to get when you beat round 2 and other levels respectively. Now here comes the bonus stage. This one's with the donuts. Anybody that's a Simpsons fan, I know Homer Simpson loves his donuts. The goal here is to get all these donuts in record time while the time you have still on the clock for bonus points. And you want to get it fast because these bonus points go down really quickly. Okay, so that's it for Super Pac-Man. And there is, of course, stage 4, which has the burgers. Pac-Man Going America. Alright, so I have to reset. Let's go with another game. Let me just fix myself. Oh, whoops. The phone dropped. I apologize for that. I knew that was going to happen in this video. Okay, there we go. Alright, next up, Pac-Man. Of course, everybody should know Pac-Man. One of the most iconic video game characters of all time since its introduction in 1980. For those who may not know, there's a really cool fun fact. In Japan, he was known as Punk-Man. The reason why they changed it to Pac-Man when it came out in America, courtesy of Namco and Midway, it was because arcade people was going to have that mindset of changing the P to an F. I am not kidding. I heard it in a video game fun fact video. You guys can check it out if you want. Another thing I should also mention is before I start playing this game, I forgot to show it during that Super Pac-Man segment. if you guys remember that Pac-Man plug-and-play console video that I did back in 2016, I actually got to play Pac-Man as my first ever video. So before I show off that game, here's a bit of clip of me from playing Pac-Man from the plug-and-play console that I reviewed back in 2016.
The greatest arcade gamer of all time started off that tradition. I played this game before. Yeah, there's tons of Pac-Man games out there. If you want, I can try to play a level. Sorry if you can't see Pac-Man. Camera's a little shaky. Hold up. Alrighty, I'll show you the...
Those were just good old times from when I was 13 when I made that video. Alright, let me just lower my computer screen right here. And now let's get a game. Oh, before I play the game, I just want to let you guys know this is on fast mode, which means Pac-Man goes really fast than how he does in the original arcade game. So if you guys have very sensitive eyes, you may want to scroll down or skip ahead. Well, that said, let's do this. As you can see, we got Pac-Man going really fast. I think he must have eaten some turbo power pellets, and now it's making him go fast like if he was in the game Pac-Man Plus. But this is the original Pac-Man from 1980, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, everybody knows in every Pac-Man game, it's just very simple. All you gotta do is get the pallets and eat the ghosts and get the cherries and the fruit. Most importantly, don't die. My high score in this game is, of course, 89,510 points. I'm not sure how in the world that I did that. I must have been also locked in pretty well when it came to Pac-Man. There might be some games that you may hear me say, like, I don't know, how did I get, like, high scores, you know, from back then? But keep in mind, this was during 2021, 2022 times when this was, like, new in my house. So I completed stage 1, as you saw, without me dying, which was something I couldn't do in the first, I mean, not in the first game, the original video back in 2023. Ah, sweet! If you just heard that, I just gained an extra life. And as you see right here, I'm doing some little bit of tricks right here that I picked up from watching other people play the game, especially the secrets on getting the ghosts. Now, in terms of ghost that follows you, I know Inky, Pinky, and Inky catches you, while Clyde tries to do like a little sneaky style, tries to catch you from off guard. And if you don't know what you're doing, you could end up dying really fast. Alright, so I got ghost number 1, ghost number 2, ghost number 3. I'm gonna get the 4th one. Will I get the 4th one? Yes, I will. Alright, let's run. Ah, shit. I just died. Well, it's better to die on the 2nd level than die on the 1st level. And there we go. Another round beating. What I also loved is that I never got to mention this in the original video. Is with the sounds of the arcade, mainly with Pac-Man, Rally X, I think Dicta. Most of it comes from, yes, mostly the original arcade ROM, but most of the sound effects that you hear mostly comes from the PlayStation 2 Arcade Classic Namco Museum 50th Anniversary, which I know a lot of you guys have seen videos of me playing it from my PS2 review in 2016, and of course, when I did a Let's Play for Pole Position 1 and 2, which was a canceled Let's Play series I did back in 2017. Check that video out when this video is over, and if you guys would like to see somewhat of a revival of that, despite, you know, there might be some arcade games I'm not really good at, hit me up in the comments below. We'll try to do a little something like that. We'll add in a little spice in there, you know, to celebrate 10 years of my YouTube channel. Now, going off topic, here where I'm continuing to play Pac-Man. A lot of you guys may have saw the post that my younger sis has a YouTube channel dedicated to Hansune Miku Project Sekai, which is a gacha / rhythm game. I already did a post up at Hoyo Lab and over on YouTube. So if you guys have the time, please subscribe to her YouTube channel today. She is currently on break because, you know, 8th grade graduation is coming up and she's got a lot on her plate. But it would mean the world to her and to myself if you could subscribe to her channel. I know a lot of you guys may have some references, but she used to make cameos on my YouTube channel back when she was a very young kid and back when I was a teenager. So it brings back a lot of great memories. But let me tell you, she's really growing up, and as her older brother, it brings a tear to my eye. All right. Next up is Rally X. Before Pole Position 1 and 2, there was Rally X and the 1981 sequel, New Rally X. Unfortunately, there is no new Rally X on here, but we do have Rally X on here, which I never shown in my Pac-Man 2008 Plug and Play review. That was because that had new Rally X. So, hold on, there's a little something right here. There we go. Rally X is also a really interesting game that I have played many times. When I was young, I used to suck really badly at this game. Now, as an adult, I'm learning more of the basics of how the game works. So, for those who don't know how to play the game, apparently it's just very easy to do. All you got to do is just capture the flags, but watch out for the red cars and watch out for those pesky rocks. Because if you make any contact with them, you will crash and lose a life. Now, the high score I have on here is 41,070. I love the detailedness of Rally X. It's just really cool. See, it says here, it gives you the instructions. That's what I like about, Rally X. And they did the same thing, for new Rally X when it came out in 81. All right, so let's pop in a pretend quarter and play some Rally X. Man, just listening to the music nowadays and the sound effects, they just give me a sense of nostalgia right here. Especially for all the times I used to play Rally X when I was a kid. Oh, I might be cornered. Yep, I knew I was going to be cornered. The red car was coming from beside me and the other one was coming from the other side. So I knew I was going to be cornered. And it looks like I got cornered again. So I'm down to my last life. Yeah, it's just because I hadn't played Rally X in such a long time, so I may have to, go back to playing this game and practicing myself on it. Because, like I said, it's been such a long time, so you may not see me in a really good game pace here. But hey, look at this. We got to finish the level. Okay, so now we're going to go into round 2. Let's hope I don't crash this time and get a game over. Because I know we want to get to round 3, because that's where the challenge stuff comes in. Now, Rally X also has a arrangement, which I never got to talk about in the original video. In between the years of 1995 and 1996, Namco released Arcade Classics Volumes 1 and 2, which not only included the original games... Ah, shoot, I got a game over. We'll do another round of it before I get to the next game. Okay, like I was saying, not only did they include the original games, but they also had remakes/arrangements of games like Galaga, Mappy, Pac-Man. Rally X had one, which looked like it took in the style of Rally X and New Rally X, which was absolutely amazing just to watch. I watched a 2-assist system, TAS for short, on video on it many times before. It is really cool. If you go to your local arcade area, hopefully they should have the cabinet in there. But if not, you can always play it on your main emulator. Alright, let me get the flag. Oh, hang on. These cars want to be pesky. They want to try to corner me. Woo! Oh, that was a good one. I managed to catch all four. So close. I wasn't able to get that flag because, of course, the car had the skid. But keep in mind, like I said, it's been such a long time since I last played Rally X, so of course, my skills are not going to be as good as they were, back in the day. Alright, so that was, of course, Rally X. And now it's time for one more game before we end this video. First, let me stretch my back, though. Okay. It's time to play. Oh. There we go. It's time to play Dig Dug. Dig Dug is another classic arcade game released in 1982, which was, of course, the same year Pole Position came out. And I don't think Dig Dug needs any introduction. It's arguably one of the most greatest games out there to date. I say it with proudness in my heart because I love Dig Dug a lot. Oh, excuse me. Now, before, of course, I play this game, I also have a video of me playing Dig Dug, which, of course, is from the same review of the Pac-Man plug-and-play console. Let me turn the brightness up. Here's a quick snippet of it.
This was my also favorite game in the Pac-Man, in the arcades. I played this on my PlayStation 2 before. I may review my PlayStation 2 pretty soon for all of you to see. For all of you who grew up with Sony. I try to get my camera. Oh, randomly died out.
Only just play like one level and then just quit the game. Well, we're not gonna do that here in this video. No way, Jose. Okay. All that said, let's pop in that pretend quarter and go into Dig Dug. Now, there was an achievement that I did with Dig Dug, but not in this one. Nope, with the Japanese version of Namco Museum for GBA, where I decided to get the maximum high score of over 90 million points, I believe, and make it to round 256. For everybody that knows, round 256 is probably the most infamous thing in arcade games, where you get to the max level, the game kind of glitches out, you can't even do anything, you just die, and then that's basically it, like the game is over. So I had a really long extended time period of playing Dig Dug. And I even shared it with a couple of my gang on Discord, which, of course, for those who have Discord, you can follow me at Robert Super Saiyan 02 Returns. I will mention that again when we get to the end of the video. I always find it funny that when Dig Dug makes his walks, he makes music with his feet. So I always kind of feel like he's like having his own music soundtrack with his feet. And of course, I accidentally ran myself into the fire guard to breathe out fire and died. I don't want to make the same mistake again. There we go. Now it's time to get the last one. There we go. Ooh, so far you guys are having a good time watching this video. And I can always release new content anytime I want. I know currently there hasn't been too much of me uploading since, there was a lot that is going on. Plus, I'm planning to release another video soon where I have to talk about something really, really serious. But that will come in either later today, or if I don't do it today, then I'll do it tomorrow. But it's something really serious in regards with one of my dogs. But we'll get there when we get there. So we're already on round 4. I know a lot of you guys are asking me, where's the fruits? The iconic fruits in the game. Well, let's see if I can do that. Nope, I didn't, but there's the fruit. I think that was the cucumber, I believe. Since I made a big roll around here, hopefully we should have the fire guards come to me so I can try to take them out. Nope, I don't think so. They're being stubborn. So, it looks like I gotta have to do the hard work here. Alright, you can't even pump them up with air like that. Gotta go all the way up to the top, all the way here so I don't die, and there. Whew! What are we on, round 5? Wow. Already on round 5. Want to see if I can squish him with a rock. Nice. Get this one before he decides to shoot any fire at me. And get this last one. And then that's it. Woo! Oh, man. Just doing these reviews with you guys and then reminiscing about my game memories. just brings back a lot of greatness and joy. So I'm just gonna have a demo play around here as we close out the video. So that's it for my review, remastered edition of the Arcade1Up Countercade, which of course has Super Pac-Man. Hope you guys enjoyed it, despite some little bit of hiccups and some sound interference from my fan, because like I said, it's a hot day today. Okay, it's not really that hot, it's just a bit stuffy and humid in my room. But if you enjoy arcade content and if you love my channel, just hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and visit me on my other social media platforms. You can check out my other videos, as of course this channel is celebrating 10 years of its existence. My birthday is coming up in 2 weeks on June 26th. So mark your calendars on there, because we're going to have some good old times out there. And stay tuned for, that serious talk video about what's going on with one of my dogs. Plus, I do have to let you guys know about a trip that's coming up for me. A back-to-back trip for June and July. And then one coming up in August. But with all out of the way, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you had a lot of fun playing these games with me. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.